everybody. Everybody hear me? We are going to go ahead and get started. My name is Kate Newton. I'm the Center Director here at GSVlabs, and welcome to our 4th Pioneer Pitch Night. If you don't know, we started this event series, which is a monthly event series, back in October. And every month we pick a new topic, we put out an application, get new startups, and have this pitch night. So look out for it every month. We're really excited to do digital health this month, and next month we're going to have IoT. So if you know any IoT startups or you are an IoT startup, keep your heads up for that. Before we get started, quick context on GSVlabs if you haven't heard of us yet. We are a global innovation platform for startups, and we help connect entrepreneurs all over the world with resources. We do that in a couple main ways. One of them is through our physical communities. We have innovation centers both here and in Boston, where we support about 200 startups with flexible co-working space, community events like this, and access to resources. Furthermore, we have a much larger digital community that we support through an online platform called GSV Passport. Since we launched GSV Passport, we have over 10,000 founders that access our resources online. And it's basically a one-stop shop for founders to get access to connections with investments, discounted service providers and perks, and mentors. So if you haven't checked it out, go to gsvlabs.com/passport. This is my one plug of the night. And check it out because it's a really good way to get connected with our larger community. I also have some exciting news. A few years ago, we ran a yearly summit called Pioneer Summit. It gathers over 1,000 innovators across 2 days and 5 stages, and we are bringing it back this year in 2020 here, and that will be in September. You can actually go get tickets now, and if you are a founder, you can go online and submit an application to present, have a booth, and otherwise be involved, so make sure to connect with us on that. And the winner of this pitch night, in addition to our other prizes, will get a free demo booth at Pioneer Summit. Those are some of the main topics, and that's where you can go as a founder to apply to get involved. Now, I want to give a big shout out to some of our partners here tonight. Pioneer Pitch Night would not be possible without some of our sponsors. The first one is Brex, and they have a table back in this corner if you haven't talked to them already. If you don't know Brex, Brex is the only corporate credit card specifically designed for startups. We actually have Brex at GSVlabs, and it makes our life a lot easier. So highly recommend going and chatting with them. And if you go through GSVlabs, you can get waived card fees for life. You go to GSVlabs, www.brex/gsvlabs.com. Our other awesome partner here tonight is Leyton. They help startups get, there's Maggie over there waving. They help startups get huge kind of tax breaks with R&D tax credits. Many of the startups that can take advantage of this don't even know they can take advantage of it. So if you're not sure, go talk to Maggie, take 2 minutes of your time, and then maybe an hour commitment down the road, and you will see if you can get a bunch of money back. I also want to give a big shout out to our judges tonight. We have 4 judges in the front row. We have Victoria, who is an analyst in residence at Health Tech Capital, used to be a GSVlabs member, and we miss her very much, so we're happy to have her back. We have Gobi Patil, who is the director of Founder Institute Chennai and a serial entrepreneur. We have Mary Jo Potter, who is the CEO and managing director of Healthcare Angels. And we also have our own Saba Baksamusa. She is our director of business development here at GSVlabs. Our judges will be scoring each startup. We have 7 pitches for you tonight. And the winner will receive $2,000 and 2 free memberships for a year in our Silicon Valley Center, plus the demo booth at Pioneer Summit, which I talked about before. So best of luck to all the startups. And without further ado, we're going to bring up our first contestant, which is Mighty Health.
A few years ago, my dad suddenly had to go in for emergency open heart surgery. Now, luckily, the surgery went well, but that was just the beginning of our problems. As you know, heart disease is the #1 leading cause of death around the world. And the American Heart Association recently found that over half of Americans, 121 million people, have some form of heart disease. Now, when you get diagnosed, like my dad, you're sent home by the doctor and told to just eat healthier and exercise more, with no real accountability or support. And so it's no wonder that a lot of these patients end up depressed and anxious, continue their bad habits, and up to half of these heart patients end up back in the hospital within 6 months. And that's where Mighty Health comes in. I want you to meet Pedro. He's a 60-year-old man who was recently diagnosed with heart disease and became a member of Mighty Health. When he signs up, Pedro is assigned a coach, Maria, who is a real human. Now, initially, Pedro is a little bit skeptical about using new technology, but Maria makes him feel right at home by sending him friendly text messages that get to know everything about him, from his favorite foods to his biggest motivations. Maria also links Pedro into our Mighty Health app, where he can see his daily goals. This includes getting customized feedback on what he's eating, as well as exercise routines that are chosen just for him. And Maria can provide Pedro with highly relevant and interactive content that answers some of his biggest questions and anxieties. He can also scan his medication, and we'll send him friendly reminders whenever he forgets to take his medication. Now, Pedro loves seeing all the progress that he's made in this program since he started, including all the weight he's lost and all the stress that's decreased. And when he's feeling a little bit down, he can not only turn to Maria, but also to a curated group of other heart patients just like him, as well as other caregivers who will give him the right encouragement at just the right time. And finally, this incredible progress isn't just tracked by Maria, his coach, but is also provided to other people like his care team and his providers as well. Now, Pedro, of course, wouldn't be the first. Since we beta launched Mighty Health last summer, over 200 members have completed the Mighty Health program, and we've seen some tremendous engagement and adherence. Normal digital health apps see about 7% daily active usage, but 81% of our users use our app every single day. And we've also seen an increase of 60% when it comes to daily exercise and an average weight loss of 11 pounds. This is why one of the largest healthcare systems in America, the Providence Healthcare System, is partnering with us. And it's also why we're currently piloting with Novartis, maker of one of the fastest growing heart failure medications last year, as well as one of the top 3 health insurance companies in the United States with over 40 million members. My CTO, Felipe, and I previously co-founded another venture-backed startup that we led to an acquisition. And our third co-founder is Dr. Bernard Chang. He's the vice chair of research at Columbia University, where he has a multi-million-dollar NIH R01 grant to study the psychology of heart patients. Last summer, we graduated from Y Combinator, and our seed investors include the CEO of Clover Health, a health insurance company, the CIO of SAP, and 49ers NFL quarterback Joe Montana. As you can tell, we're incredibly excited about the potential impact of Mighty Health on lives of people like my dad, and we hope you are too. If you want to learn more, come see us at our table. Thank you very much.
Up next, we have Amelia from FITT 3D. FITT 3D is a longtime member of GSV Labs, and they have created the most popular 3D body scanning machine in the world.
Thanks, Kate. Hi, everyone. My name is Amelia, and I'm here to represent FITT 3D. And tonight, I'm excited to tell you why we are one of the most exciting companies in digital healthcare right now. So one of the biggest problems that's facing healthcare right now is assessments. They are timely, they are invasive, and they are generally very expensive. And so let me give you an example of this. So if I walk into the doctor's office, they're going to make me fill out an intake form. Then I'm going to have to take my shoes off, they're going to take my weight, and if it happens to be a chiropractic visit, they're going to take a number of measurements, they're going to make me do a balance assessment, and more. So this is costing companies a ton. There are 5 million wellness businesses out there, and if each of them could cut their assessment time by 50 to 75%, you'd see the industry saving about $30 billion a year. And then there's an upswing of about $50 billion in new client acquisition they could be having. So what are we doing to solve this problem? So we have a 3D body scanner. Our 3D body scanner is going to take a 35-second scan. In those 35 seconds, it's taking hundreds of measurements and over 1,000 images to give healthcare professionals more data much faster. The process I outlined before takes generally about 45 minutes, and a doctor is doing a lot of that process. Whereas now, this is a fully self-administrable solution that healthcare professionals can use to track data. So this is one of our clients already, 100% Chiropractic. They say FIT3D helps our 100% doctors to be the best doctors they can be and ultimately provide the patient with the best care possible. I'm going to focus on that, the best care possible. Doctors can't give the best care possible if they're spending 45 minutes on assessments. So what does our market look like? So with 5 million locations, our scanners currently sell at about $10,000 a pop, and our clients are upgrading about once every 3 years to new technology. With that, our market size is about $13.6 billion annually. And currently, we're in development for mobile app, which will be a recurring revenue service and is another $12 billion in market size. Who else is in the field? So you'll see here on the left, there are a few companies there. They do just body composition. So they're going to take your body fat. Down at the bottom, you'll see a posture app that's going to have to take a ton of pictures, and then the healthcare provider can make a determination. Our closest competitor is Staiku, and frankly, we're blowing them out of the water in every way. We are scaling much faster than them, we are across more industries, and we have a more diverse feature set. So where are we now? We are currently in 2,200 locations across 55 countries, and we're scanning somebody around the world at about once every 30 seconds. And so we've already solved product market fit. And right now what we're doing is scaling. So from 2018 to last year, we grew about 2x, and moving forward, we're looking to drive growth about 2 to 3x this year. And as you can see here, we're extremely capitally efficient. We've raised just over $6 million, and we have already achieved profitability. So with that, we are looking to grow. As we've already created a solution, we're looking to add fuel to our fire as we raise capital here. And we're looking to raise for 2 things. So the first of those is international expansion. So we are looking to grow primarily in Europe and Asia, and we're looking to get a more diverse body set from those countries. And so with that, then we can develop predictive analytics through mobile scanning. With that, we're also looking to develop and deploy more scalable scanning solutions, such as mobile scanning. With that, we have already developed prototypes, we've been granted patents, and we are going to deploy this within the next 12 months. So right now, we're very excited about these 2 developments, and they'll let us scale more aggressively and more efficiently. So we are looking for strong partners that will help advise us in this international expansion and deployment of mobile services, and to solve this multi-billion-dollar problem. Thank you very much, and you can find me at the table or email me at amelia@fit3d.com.
Thank you, Amelia. Up next, we are excited to welcome ScribeLink to the stage. ScribeLink is disrupting the electronic health record documentation.
Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Vic Mahari. I am the CEO of ScribeLink and founder. Just quickly about my background, I am an emergency medicine physician, training in biomedical informatics. I've been in healthcare IT now for about 14 years. So the problem that we address is the fact that physicians right now are spending, not advancing. The problem right now is that physicians are spending too much time in documentation. They're wasting about half their day and not enough time in patient care. So what happens is that healthcare is losing billions of dollars due to inefficiency. Physician burnout has reached a crisis proportion, and patients are unhappy because nobody wants to go to a physician's office and have them spend more time looking at the computer than they do talking to themselves. So several people are trying to address the issue, and I'll quickly go over what the problem with each one of these approaches is. You could have a live person following the doctor around all day, but those live people are very expensive. They'll be on the job for about 1 or 2 years before moving on to medical school or nursing school. AI has been the hot topic in Silicon Valley, I think, for the last couple of years. AI is excellent at taking dialogue and converting it into text. However, for medical documentation, much more is required. One needs to make a value judgment on what is important in that dialogue. AI cannot do this. And so what these companies are doing is that they're recording the conversation and they're having someone at the back end, after they do an AI run, type into the electronic health record. And that recording is going to get hacked one day, and you're going to have patient conversations floating around the internet. And then many of you may be familiar with a company called Augmetics, who's trying to do this with Google Glass. However, what happened is they had a technology failure with Google Glass, and now they're becoming more of an AI-type company. So what we do is we've created our own hardware, which is patented, 4 patents on it, creates a real-time audio-video connection to a scribe sitting in India. We don't interface with any of the client servers or anything like that, and everything is done in real time. The scribe logs in through VPN. As a physician treats the patient, the scribe enters the note directly into the EHR. When the physician's done with their patient encounter, the note is ready for review and signature. So now that we're at the point of care, what else can you do with the technology? Number one, you could have consultants joining the conversation in real time along with the physician that's treating the patient, saving the patient time to go to another consultant. And with the aging population, not all of us can always go with grandma to the doctor's office, and we want to know what the doctor says. So we allow the family members to join in as well at the point of care when the physician is treating the patient. So we are live. We've had some wonderful results with our clients. We're seeing an average of the physician seeing 30% more patients per day. The job satisfaction of doctors, as you can imagine, if they're not stuck 2 hours at the end of every day typing into a computer, it's gone up dramatically. They've gone from about a 5 out of 10 to 10 out of 10. Everyone that's using it really enjoys it. And of course, patients are happy. So it's a $20 billion market that's about 99% open. Very few developed nation physicians are using scribes at the moment. And our business model is that we have 2 options. If the client does want our company to provide them scribes, we're more than happy to do so. If they just want to use our hardware and platform, they definitely can. We make more money, obviously, when we provide the scribes. However, if they're training their own scribes, we could grow much faster as well with that option. There's absolutely no reason why by year 5 we can't have 5,000 doctors using our product, giving us a revenue of about $56 million, out of which 50% is pure profit. And so we are seeking a seed round of $3.5 million. The majority of that is going to go to developing the hardware to a wireless device, as well as training new scribes, and really scaling. So we do have product market fit. Now we just need to go out and grow. So I look forward to talking to everybody at the demo table and look forward to answering any of the questions. Thank you.
Thank you, ScribeLink. Up next, I'd like to invite Dean Tucker, CEO of Darma, up. Darma has created a continuous remote patient monitoring platform.
Good evening. So Darma is a digital health company, and the remote patient monitoring platform we've created provides for continuous care and across a pretty broad spectrum. One of the optic sense capabilities of our platform is that we can provide care insights to remote care providers and family members. This innovative solution is primarily, I think, focused around delivering a solution to a challenge that we call the crisis of care in America. This is creating a massive opportunity because of the lack of care providers, the lack of money to pay for the care, and it's created by people like me. We turn 65, and 10,000 of us a day enter that cohort. So as that silver tsunami rolls through, it's added with the group of what we call the rising tide of chronic conditions and chronic care. It's a huge problem. And so you look around and you say, who's going to take care of me? Who's going to take care of you? And how are we going to pay for it? As we looked at the marketplace, what we realized was that there was a huge opportunity, probably too big for most people to take a bite of. So we looked within that and found what we think is the core market. The core market for us is 50 million people generating $30 billion a year in revenue. And these are folks that have chronic conditions, typically multiple chronic conditions. But the most obvious one and the best place to enter is around people who have sleep apnea and other sleep-related problems. They typically have comorbidities, so they have multiple chronic conditions that are being managed either by a care provider or a care team or multiple care teams. Our remote monitoring platform consists of a couple of components. One is an FDA-cleared patient monitoring platform that goes on the bed, under the mattress. It requires no use by the patient, by the care provider, by anyone. Our model is one truck delivery. It's brown, it says UPS on the side. You plug it in, it calls home, it logs onto our servers, you go to sleep at night, and the data is automatically generated and delivered to your care provider's platform the next day via APIs. It can also be connected through the similar technology in a remote seat cushion. So if you're an older person and you're sitting a lot and sleeping a lot, we're getting nearly 24 hours of your heart rate, respiration rate, heart rate variability, your posture, your movement while you sleep, your sleep patterns, a pretty broad range of physiologic patterns that we're able to analyze and then begin to move from the world today that we call alarms and alerts, mom's out of bed, mom's in bed, to mom's going to get out of bed or mom didn't go to bed. And so it's predictive analytics, the ability to take that data and make the platform smarter. For most of us who are looking in this world of digital health, the biggest question we have to ask and get answers to is who's going to pay for it? And that's been a really big problem. But last year, the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services answered that for us. And that's the new CPT codes around remote patient monitoring. It completely changed the industry. So today, if you're a clinician or a care team, you can get paid for remote patient monitoring up to $2,500 per year per patient. It's an enormous opportunity. And having a fully autonomous platform, the one that we have, it completely eliminates the need for the care team to worry about anything. The patient, all they do is go to sleep. All they do is sit in their chair. They don't have to do anything. We have a really broad range of IP. Over 61 global patents have been filed, 20 have been granted. We have a range of capability around our analytics and our algorithms. We have a team in China developing advanced AI and machine learning capabilities along with sensors. We use a technique called ballistic cardiography to replace ECG. So it's been validated. We're the only company in the US that has a clinically validated, FDA-cleared BCG sleep platform. Our go-to-market, I call it the leveraged economic model. And what that means is channel partners. So rather than trying to go out and get customers one at a time, we partner with a large group of very well-established, very well-known companies. You can see some of them here. The team is myself, my co-founder Shah. We have a team in China, an advisory board here. 10 good reasons why you'd want to choose us. You could pick any 3, 4, or 5 of them. Our funding timeline, we're unique. Come by and see us. We're raising a seed round of $1 million. We'll be in market shipping product in Q4 of this year.
Thank you. Up next, I have Christy Sheeny, CEO of Leyton. Leyton uses highly accurate eye tracking to better understand your brain.
Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Christy Sheehy. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Leyton Technologies, and we've created a preventative neurology solution in the blink of an eye. Everyone here in this room knows someone who's gone through a neurological change or crisis. Neurological disease affects 1/6 of the world's population and costs $2 trillion for the economic health burden. Diagnoses are very hard, and therapeutics are either limited or completely non-existent. And this problem really stems from the fact that clinicians just do not have the tools to adequately assess brain health. MRIs are very costly, bedside exams are subjective, and cognitive assessments can be extremely time-consuming. We've created a life-changing solution that involves the eye. And it's as simple as putting your chin onto a chin rest and staring as stable as you can. We then record the very back layer of your eye, which is also the front layer of your brain. We look at the cellular scale of how the eye moves, and we extract eye motion about 1,000 times per second and feed that information into our neural network to allow for objective, actionable information at bedside for clinicians. Our advantages are numerous. We're extremely quick, and we're also non-invasive. With those powers combined, that now allows for frequent monitoring of a large population like never before. Additionally, compared to other eye trackers on the market, we're 120 times more sensitive than pupil tracking. And when you think about other retinal cameras that are being used, picture them like the Polaroid snapshot and us like the fancy 4K camera. We've worked with top-tier researchers to validate both our device and our data. Our entry market is in multiple sclerosis, now having looked at over 200 patients at UCSF and opened an Alzheimer's study in parallel there as well. We also have worked in the concussion space, looking at recovery at the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center. And these additional indications outside of MS allow us to de-risk that future market opportunity. Using a bottoms-up approach and a pre-approved CPT code, this outlines a $1 billion market for our multiple sclerosis entry. And when we add on our pipeline, which is the concussion and Alzheimer's, this is now looking at a $10 billion opportunity. Now, if every person that went into a neurologist's office got their eye scanned, this could be a $35 billion market opportunity. Our go-to-market strategy is pharma first. We're looking to partner early stage with pharma companies as an exploratory endpoint. This will allow them to help stratify their patients as well as provide granular feedback for drug efficacy. With FDA approval, you can then launch into a partnership. And this early partnership can really drive a lot of our data, and this large amount of data can then drive the future clinical adoption. To be competitive in this landscape, you have to be fast and cost-effective, but on top of that, we are also non-invasive and objective, which is what makes Sealight come out above the rest. We have an exclusive license for our core technology from UC Berkeley, developed during my PhD work there. And we have accompanying patents looking at the binocularity and portability of the device, as well as the method for assessing neurological health, agnostic of our device we use. I have the privilege of working with an amazing group of individuals. My background's optical engineering, doing my PhD in vision science. Met my co-founder in the same PhD program, his background in working at Regeneron Pharmaceuticals and neurophysiology, and we round our team out with both business and data science expertise. We've worked with an amazing group of advisors as well that not only support us, but also the huge mission we have to make neurological health preventative. They've worked in the device space, the implant space, as well as the eye tracking space, and have taken their devices from bench to bedside through commercialization, and many of them through acquisition as well. Our chief clinical collaborator is the head of the multiple sclerosis clinic at UCSF. We've been extremely successful with non-dilutive funding to date, having almost $500,000 from the NIH, and also additional angel funding as well as accelerator to do our proof of concept, validation, and regulatory approach. We're looking to raise $1.25 million of our seed round to surpass the current standard of care for our AI, transition working prototypes into beta product designs for manufacture, and finally complete our FDA pre-submission meeting. We are Sealight Technologies, and we're preventative neurology in the blink of an eye. Thank you.
Thank you, Christy. Last but certainly not least, I'd like to welcome FITT Finder to the stage. FITT Finder is a discovery platform for fitness activities and services.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ahmed. I'm a team leader at FITT Finder. Preventative healthcare. Not a lot of people talk about it. A few years ago, my little sister had some extreme health issues due to being obese and diabetic at a very young age. As any brother, I just sat down with her and I wanted to know what was the problem. I'm a fitness professional. For the last 17 years, I've been a fitness instructor, business owner, and a thought leader in the space. Now, she said something that I thought that she was procrastinating or being lazy. She said, "You don't see the world from my eyes." And it is very hard for somebody like myself to get fit when everything around you is overwhelming, expensive, hard to find or to get to, not fit for your needs or your body. I lost motivation, I felt lonely, and I kept hitting the rock bottom, and the vicious cycle starts over and over and over, and it's never ending. That statement became the core value behind building FITT Finder. When I started this journey 3 years ago, the CDC reports stated that 35% of the entire US population are obese. And they are on track by 2030 to have 50% of the entire US population. I woke up today to the latest report. It states that 42% of the entire US population is officially obese and overweight. How is that possible? Now, being in a space for too long, understanding all the technology platforms, we understand that consumer-facing tech platforms caused major issue. Between 240 CRMs around the world and other social media platforms, the fitness industry is terribly fragmented and overwhelming. The other part is the personalization. Existing platforms or mobile apps does not provide truly personalized user experience. Those two problems together combined created a lack of convenience for the average consumer to find what they want whenever they want it. On the other side, there is a bigger problem. Fitness service providers are facing a very, very high cost of acquisition. And the time consumed in the process, it's extremely high. Jumping from one platform to another is not good. I'm not going to talk about the market because it's extremely big. 31 billion. This is the US expenditure on fitness activities and services. But to touch point on that, the largest two platforms around the world combined revenue only represented 333 million in 2017. Where is the rest of the money? Fragmented. That's why FITT Finder is here. FITT Finder streamlines sources of information and APIs into a single destination. When we do that, we provide an instant accessibility, a comprehensive platform, personalized user experience that allows you to access anything at any time, in any location, with any fitness level or budget, or even without a budget. Fitness business owners can list their services, advertise their offer, reward customers, and get more money. Our go-to-market strategy, we can talk about it later, but here is market validation and traction. Our pilot phase was supposed to last 6 months. We had to shut it down in 75 days. Our growth users was from 50 to 3,500 downloads in 75 days. And we partner up with 70% of the entire market, service providers, in 75 days. Our business model is very simple. It's a SaaS-enabled marketplace with a subscription and a percentage per transaction. There is many players in the space, but FITT Finder beats them all. Our team is unique. My co-founder is a 23 years of technology, software engineer, and I can tell you a lot about our advisors and about what other people saying about FITT Finder. Thank you so much. Please come and talk to us. Have a great day.
Thank you, FITT Finder. I want to give another big round of applause to all the startups that pitched. Right now, our judges are going to go deliberate for about 15 minutes and pick the winner. I wouldn't want to be in their shoes. And in the meantime, don't go anywhere. We have a really awesome fireside chat for you. I'd like to welcome up my colleague, Tara, who is our Director of Enterprise Innovation. And I'd also like to welcome JP Patil, who is the Senior Director of Product at Grand Rounds.
Hi, everybody. As Kate mentioned, my name is Tara. I'm our Director of Enterprise Innovation here at GSVlabs. I'm welcomed with JP, who has graciously offered us 20 minutes of his time so I can interrogate him. And so I would like to just give you the floor to introduce yourself and your background.
Sure. So I'm JP. I run what is known as our data products group at Grand Rounds. So for those of you who know Grand Rounds, we are kind of known for physician quality at an individual level and how to use that information and match it to patients based on their clinical situation. So my team is responsible for that. How do we go and look at the data and understand what are the insights that we can use? How do we understand the past medical journey a patient has gone through, their social, economic situation that determines like their ability to get care, and then use all that information in conjunction with information about providers, provider groups, and find out what's the best match. Because it's not necessarily just about quality, it's can you optimize for what behaviors you want to actually drive, and can you do that through finding the right person who speaks the right language, practices at the right time, is close enough to you, and really get people to the best possible outcome. My background is kind of wide and varied. I did a bunch of legal, I did computer science. My education is actually biochemistry and cellular biology. But I kind of got to Grand Rounds in a winding route, which was after business school, I started a medical device company, basically focused on tracheobronchial cancer. So my grandmother died of esophageal cancer. And it was kind of crazy that she died not really because of the cancer, but because of starvation. And so what we were trying to do is apply the technologies that were used in cardiovascular settings with stents and use them in other settings. And so we created a biodegradable drug-eluting stent. Went through, got I think 3 or 4 rounds of funding from the NIH and NSF, but no VCs wanted to fund us. So we ended up closing the company down, and I joined a healthcare venture inside a larger company. They were trying to break in from enterprise software into health tech, and worked on that for a couple of years before the Great Recession. We shut that down, and I ended up staying at the company for the next 4 or 5 years and stayed in enterprise software until my company 10xer was being acquired by Twitter, and decided I want to get back into healthcare. And using all of that experience from data and software, trying to apply that back to healthcare.
And what drew you to today's current startup and innovation ecosystem in healthcare after coming fresh out of an acquisition?
Well, I knew I wanted to be back in healthcare. What particularly drew me to health tech, health applications, was coming from the experience I went through at 10xer and Digite, where there's a lot more data that was starting to be available, and how can you use it? And so I was really looking at companies that were focused on trying to use data in new ways, in new novel ways, not just for the purposes of developing drugs, but how could we use that to improve care? Grand rounds was really interesting to me for multiple reasons. One is that closeness to the patient. You are developing and selling solutions for employers, but ultimately our users are the members. There is an aspect of our company that is not just digital. We have a very large care team. We have physicians on staff. And that I actually think that is how health care should be delivered. Combination of tools that enable physicians and care coordinators to deliver better care, as opposed to necessarily saying software will deliver better care. And finally, the concept of a marketplace being applied in healthcare. There weren't many startups at the time that were really trying to do that. And the idea of taking something that had worked for Uber and trying to apply that to really rethink how people go and find care, but then also optimize for the most efficient matching between people.
Yeah, definitely. So something I noticed earlier as I was going through your website, you're very clear about the fact that you're not an insurance provider, and coverage isn't kind of your territory, but you're offering a product that, objectively speaking, our insurance providers should be looking into offering or should be offering. So why are they failing? And then why are you the solution?
Yeah, it's a really hard question to answer, to be honest, because to your point, what are the carriers supposed to do, the insurance companies? Ultimately, they should be bringing down costs for the employers, and they do that either through contracting, building the right network, delivering other solutions that mitigate risk, engaging with members. A lot of carriers do what we do. They just don't do it well. There's lots of reasons why. I would say the first reason why is, what is the business model of a carrier? They are fighting on pricing arbitrage. Can we negotiate the best rate with a provider group and then build a network and not really make money from the employers? We basically need the employers because they give us the bodies to have that pricing power, but ultimately go to Medicare Advantage and things like that, or fully insured companies and sell at a premium there. So they aren't really incentivized to do a lot of the things that large employers want them to do. The other thing is they're beholden to the provider groups who say, like, if we go and negotiate this contract with you, we aren't going to allow you to steer to any other provider group. The concept of measuring quality, we don't want you to do that. So we are, to some degree, unencumbered by our business model. We have been, as a company, very particular about who we raise money from and who we partner with, so that we do not have that sort of conflict of interest. I would say a lot of the companies also have a legacy healthcare information system that prevents them from doing things like we are doing. I won't say we built the right infrastructure from the get-go.
Yeah.
We've basically built 3 data platforms since I've been there. But that ability to build things and take them down because we've learned makes us be able to iterate and go faster.
You mentioned that you've built 3 data platforms since you joined, but you've also tripled your valuation. So what has that experience been like for you as a entrepreneurial guy?
So, to be honest, most of us at Grand Rounds don't even think about the valuation. It's a nice byproduct. The thing we actually measure ourselves by is more covered lives. So how many lives have we covered, and how many interactions are we having with members? The tripling of valuation helps us in terms of being able to attract talent more than anything else. It also allows us to, in some situations, be able to negotiate with partners to say, like, actually let us be a partner with you because we aren't some tiny company. I think the biggest thing in terms of challenges with having a high valuation has actually been keeping the culture of the company. We are getting more people who are interested in us because of our valuation and because of the prospects and our revenue numbers and all those things, which is nice. It opens the funnel in terms of attracting talent. But how do you make sure you have people in the company who are there to solve the healthcare problems?
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. You talk about the challenges that you guys faced as you grow. But I want to talk a little bit about the challenges maybe you faced in those earlier days. At GSVlabs, we work with a lot of highly regulated industries, including healthcare. And we see a lot of challenges there for early stage startups that are trying to break into that arena. What types of challenges did you face early on?
So there's the Stark Law, which regulates how you basically refer people as a physician. And there's also laws about interstate practicing of medicine. Grand Rounds started as a remote second opinion business and also trying to route people to those providers. And so many of the large institutions, Duke, Boston Children's, Northwestern, they had real issues about how we were delivering the second opinions and whether it was legal or not. There was a lot of going back and forth that we had to do with them, and also external lawyers and a litany of people to actually show with case law and other things that this is an okay business to be in. But it was a major challenge to get a lot of the large experts and institutional partners to buy in and say, like, this is actually okay, and we aren't going to get sued to do this. I think if we didn't have those challenges, we would have moved much faster as a business. It's interesting because the Stark Law is being reevaluated again this year, and so it'll be interesting to see what happens and what happens with people now thinking about telehealth. When those laws were written, it was like more than 30 years ago. Telehealth wasn't even a concept.
And so from a product perspective, because you're on the data side, are you working with personal health data, and how are you compliant in working with that, and what were those challenges? And
Yeah, actually, that's a really good point. HIPAA is something that we had to deal with and is a big challenge. As a company that's trying to develop insights, our data scientists always want access to as much data as possible. And there are certain situations where, for example, HIPAA says you can only have the first 3 digits of a zip code. That is not granular enough for a lot of the things that we do. And so how do we get our customers comfortable with, we are HIPAA compliant, but there are some things that we are going to do with your data that don't fall under HIPAA. And so how do we actually make you comfortable with our system architecture, our security standards, so that they're willing to sign off on those things? The other part about HIPAA is we do a lot of records transfers, and we also need to get access to a lot of claims data. And engaging and partnering with various medical institutions, they have their own policies around HIPAA, and they're like, well, our interpretation around HIPAA is this. This is contrary to what you are saying. So how do we come to a mutual agreement? All of those sorts of things slow down processes a lot. For example, medical records release form. We have our standard, but there are so many different institutions where we've had to go and implement their standard because it has to meet their check the box.
Yeah, makes sense. My last question, because I want to open it up to audience questions as well, is we are live streaming, and the recording will be put up on our Passport platform. where we have thousands of entrepreneurs around the world that look to us for resources. What's one piece of advice that you would give an early stage health tech entrepreneur?
So I would say it's very frustrating being in healthcare. When I remember going through it myself, there was a lot of times where we were like, the industry shouldn't be this way, and we couldn't figure out what to do about it. I think partnering and having close relationships with other people who are going through it, and also finding people who have done it before, is super valuable. There are people who have fought these battles and can tell you what are the right words you need to say, or who are the right people you need to connect with. That will open doors for you. The other thing I would say for many of the entrepreneurs is, like, it's going to be hard, and I can't emphasize how important it is to build the right team of people who are willing to go and fight these things with you and are truly interested in solving healthcare problems, as opposed to, you know, some great financial reward at the end.
Awesome. Thank you so much, JP. Do we have any questions in the audience? You might be getting off easy. Awesome. Great. Thank you, guys, and thank you, JP.
Thank you.
All right. Good?
Thank you so much.
All right. They are almost ready to announce the winners. I think we're about 30 seconds out. So be really quick here. Another round of applause for Tara and JP. That was awesome. All right. Inviting any of our judges available to come up on stage with me. We have stairs right around here. All right. Hope the process was good. Quick round of applause for our judges who hopefully came to a decision here. All right, and I will let you announce the winner. Again, the winner gets $2,000 in cash, 2 free hot desks to our center for an entire year, and a free booth at our Pioneer Summit conference coming up next September. I'm going to hand it off to you to announce it.
The winner is Sea Light. Congratulations.
All right, we want to get a quick photo with you. Oh, yeah. All right, please join us. We have all the startups that presented have demo tables right to the right and in the cafe. We have food and drinks, networking, so please join us all for that, and thank you so much for coming.